Hi, I'm Dan Murphy, and I'm here with a preview of the Dover Annual Town Meeting, which will be taking place on Saturday, May 1st at 10 a.m. on the North Searle Field, which is the high school football field. It's going to be probably pretty similar to last year's town meeting, as we're still working our way through this pandemic. Hopefully, we'll get through pretty quickly, and hopefully, there won't be any rain. And basically the way that we're looking at this is we're looking at 26 articles total. So let's get started with the articles. First up, we have Article 1, which is to hear and act on committee reports. This is basically how every town meeting opens. Most of these articles are, just as things that come up every year. Article 2 is to establish salaries for elected officials for fiscal year 2022, another standard article. Article 3 is to authorize amounts for revolving funds. Most of the revolving funds this year, they look like things that we see every year, but I'll just run through them. First, we have the building department, which is looking for $9,800 for gas inspector, $17,500 for plumbing inspector, and $34,500 for the wiring inspector. Then also under Article 3, we have the Board of Health, which is looking at $40,000 for perk and deep hole inspection and permitting, $50,000 for septic inspection and permitting, $20,000 for well inspection and permitting, and $10,000 for swimming pool inspection and permitting. Then we have also under Article 3, we have the library, which is looking for $5,000 for materials replacement. We have the Council on Aging that has $35,000 for senior activities and transportation, and $1,500 for the recycling committee's material sales proceeds. And all these are things that I think we've seen almost every year. Article 4 is next, and that's to appropriate the fiscal year 2022 operating budget. Article 5 is to appropriate the fiscal year 2022 capital budget. And this has a list of various items, but in the warrant there weren't dollar amounts attached to these items, so they might be discussed a little bit more at the town meeting. But we're looking at 4 different departments. And first, we have building maintenance, which is looking at townhouse window repair and replacement. We have the highway department, which is looking at a utility truck. The police department, which has patrol vehicles listed, and then the schools, specifically Chickering, which is looking at the flooring in their lobby, and the HP core switch. So then next we have Article 6, which is to appropriate for unemployment compensation fund. Article 7, which is to appropriate for sick leave for retiring police officers. Article 8, which is to appropriate for road construction, reconstruction, and improvements. Article 9, to appropriate for the conservation fund. Article 10, to create and appropriate for capital stabilization fund. Article 11, which is to appropriate funds for the Dover-Sherburne Regional School District capital expenditures for the fiscal year 2022. Article 12, which is to appropriate for one-time projects. This is specifically long-range water resources assessment, and they're looking at $100,000 regarding that. Article 13 is to appropriate for unpaid bills for prior years. Article 14 is supplemental appropriations to Article 3 of the 2020 annual town meeting, which, if you'll remember, that was it's going to be probably somewhat similar to this year, in which that meeting was probably one of the fastest town meetings ever. It took about 15 minutes on the football field, which is also where this meeting will be taking place. Hopefully, the weather is a little less inclement than last year. Then we move on to Article 15, which is to amend the zoning laws, accessory apartments. Article 16 is to accept Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 59, Section 5, property tax deferrals for seniors over 65. Article 17 is also related to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 59, Section 5, this time dealing with property tax exemptions for persons over 65. Oh, the other one's for seniors. This one's for persons over 65. So they're both related because they're both Chapter 59, Section 5. Article 18 regards accepting Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 60, Section 3D, Elderly and Disabled Taxation Fund. Then we move on to Article 19, which is the Other Post-Employment Benefits Trust Fund. Article 20 is amend Part 2 of the general bylaws regarding cemeteries. Then Article 21 is payment in lieu of taxes for solar installation at town garage. Article 22 is amend Part 2 of general bylaws regarding animals. I know that the animals one is mostly just related to renumbering some of the bylaws. So these aren't that significant changes to the bylaws as far as I believe. Article 23 regards lease authorization for personal wireless service providers. Article 24 is to accept Stagecoach Lane as a public way. Article 25 is transfer free cash to stabilize the tax rate. And Article 26 is as always, the last article regarding town election, which will be taking place on Monday, May 7th. So that's all the articles. I don't think there's any big controversial ones. I do encourage everyone to attend that is able, so we reach quorum and hopefully can get out of here relatively quickly. But it should be relatively fast town meeting, I hope, taking place May 1st, that's Saturday, at 10 a.m. on the North Searle Field, where we'll be able to socially distance somewhat, and hopefully everything goes well. So I encourage everyone to attend, and this is a great way to get involved in town politics and show your support for the town. So I really do encourage everyone to show up. So thanks so much. Once again, I'm Dan Murphy, and thank you for watching this town meeting preview for the Dover Annual Town Meeting. Thank you.